Hi guys, it's me, Jocelyn here again. And before I talk about the movies that I want to talk about for Easter for this year, 2026, I would like to talk about Trump's little one I ran a speech for April Fool's Day, April 1st. And before I begin talking about the speech properly, let me talk about what I think sums up the whole thing, the whole experience in general. And to do that, I would like to quote one of my good friends, Ian Malcolm. That is one big pile of shit. Yeah, it's pretty undeniable at this point that Trump's little speeches, about the war I ran, the one, whatever, the Venezuela, the economy, everything else is pure bullshit. It comes off as more of a story time with Grandpa. And Grandpa is the hero of his own story. Everything gotta be grandiose, everything gotta be over exaggerated, everything gotta be, I'm the hero, me, I. Nobody else is involved. We're gonna pound them like they never been seen before, like they never seen before. Yeah, I kept track of, I kept track of that one phrase, and it came out like 5 or 6 times, depending on how liberal you are when it comes to that. And it was actually really annoying. I was actually really disappointed that when he made that little hammy speech that he didn't do that thing with the hands, but everything else. That would have been the topic of a cake for me. Not only that, but he neglected to mention the radical left. The radical left Democrats. So that was a bit of a disappointment. But other than that, he always made sure to mention about the former administration, which we won't get into anymore, as well as Barack Hussein Obama. By mentioning the Hussein part, it actually gives him power and makes him feel good about himself and his base. Which, by the way, this speech was directed toward, because it's got very simple language. Everything that he said was live in storytime mode. And there was way too much stupid for me to go through for this video. There were a lot more professional, competent people for that type of thing. And whatever he said in there, he knows that his base is probably too lazy or stupid to fact check him properly against real news sources and real things like that, real credible sources. So whatever he says goes. If he says that he's got 1,000,005 bombs to head toward Iran or wherever the case is, they'll take it for face value. They'll really think that he got 1,000,000 bombs on the way over there, or that he went to the bottom of the ocean, or that Melania's got an IQ of 150 years, something like that. So yeah, it's they're pretty. It was a speech for them. Now that being said, there are some things that are kind of funny, because whenever he makes a speech about being involved in NATO or some of our former allies, he's always got to make sure to insult them in some way, shape, or form. For example, he said that Iran's defenses the Army, the Navy, the radar, that whatever else the gov is effectively destroyed, obliterated. He said that a few times too. And that if any of our NATO allies go in there and get oil for themselves, they can just go up and take it. And then they will protect it. And then they should drum up some Lake Courage, or they should let some of the courage build up. So a lot of ways he called them cowards for not backing a war that he started himself against Iran, which was unprovoked, by the way. I firmly believe that there was no intention of them building a nuclear weapon to use on anybody. If they had, they would have done so already. And they would have destroyed half of the country, half of the world anyway. But besides that, you always gotta put in these little dig about being cowards. Whereas he's one that just dodged the draft like a few times, like 4 or 5 times already in Vietnam. So there was that. Now also he said that if you want to get like real good petroleum gas, petroleum products and stuff, and crude oil and stuff, go to us. We have plenty of oil, because of my Drill Baby Drill program. We do lots of oil. There's more than Russia and Saudi Arabia combined, which no, it's not. Okay, and second of all, there are multiple different types of oil, you jackass. And third of all, when he released a few million or a couple 100 million barrels of oil out of our reserve for the global market, and that kind of set us back that bunch of oil, because he thought that this war would be like Venezuela, like over in like a heartbeat in comparison to the way it is now. More likely this will probably get to be a multi-month or multi-year conflict. I think it might even last longer than he does at this point. Because when I said about him being a big pile of shit, I wasn't just talking about the stuff coming out of his mouth like a faucet. I was talking about himself too, because he physically looks like he's decaying, like a decaying mental flesh. I almost feel sorry for the guy if he was a horrible, rotten human being. But anyway, another thing about the oil and gas thing is that if he wants to charge other countries to use our oil, to buy our petroleum products and whatnot, that's all well good. But he should pass on part of that to us, the USA citizens. We'll buy it at market price. But the only thing is that because of the oil shortage, the price of oil has gone up significantly to over $4 a barrel at this point, $4 a gallon at this point. I wish for $4 a barrel, but it's $4 a gallon. So yeah, if we have so much oil, why is it so much money? I mean, you should focus on selling that stuff and opening up to the average customer. Well, of course, it's a whole big bluff and a whole big pile of bullshit. So, yeah, there's that too. Yeah, but I think the reason why he did that was so that he could profit off the oil from our country better than to others in much more dire need than our country. And that goes to the oligarchs too. And it's kind of unfair to Americans. Now, I would like to make a prediction here. Now, I wasn't around during the 70s, during the big oil crisis, and so I had to ask my father and my aunt about it. And they said that oil prices jumped up to be like about around $5 a gallon. Probably a little bit more than that, but $5 a gallon on average. So I'm gonna say that this whole Strait of Hormuz thing, which we'll get to in a moment too. I'm gonna make a prediction here that it's gonna go over that in the next couple months or so to be about I'm gonna go for over $6 a gallon. You know, that's what I'm gonna say, for example. And I like the way Trump says that don't worry about the Strait of Hormuz. We don't need it. We don't need to go there anyway. We don't need the oil and stuff. One of the big things was he wanted to open it up. But now he says it'll open up naturally. It'll open up naturally. Given him time, it'll open up naturally. And he doesn't smooth. We're talking about a geopolitical situation here. With a very narrow strait, which oil went up because of what you started to try to distract from the Epstein files, and you're really piss poor management on the government and the economy. You say that it's we got the highest economy in the world. What is this, like a stupid nightclub that you gotta say we got the highest nightclub in town? Anyway, with the whole thing about it naturally opening up, he discussed the Strait of Hormuz like an anus, like the anus will naturally open up. It'll become to open up. That's really funny. You know, we're not talking about a damn thing to hear. We're talking about something like you broke, you have to fix it. You can't bomb your way out of this one. Or maybe you can, because it's kind of obvious that he's trying to set up like a bigger military operation in the Strait in the Persian Gulf, and that he's going to try to either take Cook Island or going to try to attack more of the Iranian coastline and maybe the middle coastline of it, you know, the middle territory of it. But if that's not going to work out too well, that will not work out well at all. See what we're going to say. We had to figure out what we're going to say. But yeah, that's kind of what to do. Because he doesn't understand war. He doesn't understand conflict. He probably thinks that it's a game of chess or something simple like that. I heard a very good comparison made him once. That Trump is like a pigeon playing chess. In that the pigeon will not know anything but the game. It won't care about learning the game either. It'll just make a mess of the board, clear around the pieces, maybe shit on the board, and then prance around and preen itself. Like, I'm the king of the world. I'll do whatever it is I want. I'm the best. And that's exactly what we're doing. Because right now it's also saying that, you see, I did this. I brought the economy back. I single-handedly rebuilt the military after the previous administration did the whole, coverage of bear stuff and all that. Which, you're using up more missiles than ever before in the first month of the strike. That's the way they always said that the new people are more team, more less judgmental, more sort of about the way they rule. Meanwhile, the opposite is true. The new people in charge of Iran are more extreme than the beforehand. And that's not the way the president says, I killed that guy. It was me, I did it. All me, I did it. I killed the guy. He made someone, he pulled the trigger on the guy's pistol right there in front of him. And he is the Khomeini, wherever his name was, Ayatollah Khomeini. So, you never saw any other president do that in their term. I mean, they say that, that at ordered Saddam to kill Obama. Obama was the one that had, the terrorist Bin Laden killed. He didn't say that I personally killed the guy. But, Trump's gotta live in a fantasy land in which he's the big cheese and the big hero of his own story. And I love the way he always self-aggrandizes himself to incorporate the other people too. There were 13 people. There were 13 service members who died so far in this little excursion on this little journey into Iran, like Trump says. And and number one, he wore his merchandise for the when he received the bribes of the troops, which is wrong on so many levels. But then he got it. Besmirch the name of the families of the grieving by saying that each came up to him and said, "Please, sir, please end the war. Please finish the fight. Please, we beg of you, for all things sake, you are our savior." That's for everyone involved. But apparently Trump doesn't view it that way. Trump views it as, that he can force his way through everything and make it look good. And it's gotten to the point where I don't think he can tell fantasy from reality. Because I can't imagine anyone actually really doing it in his life. Even Trump's supporters would be like, I can't say that. He's full of shit. That makes me angry. I couldn't realistically see any person actually doing it. Please, sir, please finish the fight that you sent my daughter to die. It's such a crock of shit. I mean, at this point, whenever he makes a speech about anything, it's almost like he gives himself a hand job. I mean, how if you look at his face when he talks, he's the only guy that I know of that when he speaks in public, he looks like he can give himself a nice city, and it's kind of embarrassing whenever you open your mouth. I wonder why Melania doesn't want to be with him. Because he's just an asshole. An asshole. You can't help but put himself in think he's a golden god. Which, by the way, yeah. I find that kind of funny too. I could just imagine them in bed saying that they'd be in bed hot and heavy and stuff, and then he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man." Yes, Don, you the man. And I could just imagine that happening. And then when he gets finished with whatever he's doing in bed, he goes like, "Health to the king, baby." That's something stupid like that. But yeah, the speech was it was a comedy show. It was a lot of live siesta, and it was really embarrassing. And you can't believe that we have this psychopathic liar, crazy person in the midst of crazy fool as leader of the free world. I mean, it's pathetic. History will not be kind to Trump or his legacy. By the way, I find it real funny that the judge put stop to his ballroom ideas, his fantastical ideas about ballroom, for any other construction projects he might have in mind. But yeah, yeah, I don't think that's war. I don't like gas prices going too high. I don't like the fact that he doesn't give a shit about anything. He says that it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make for everyone's sake. It's only a minor inconvenience. Whereas I gotta deal with it. Everybody else gotta deal with it. The prices are going up. And I find it interesting that we're so dead set not promoting electric vehicles. Meanwhile, he keep promoting like fossil fuel vehicles, like diesel cars and gasoline trucks and all that. So that's kind of biting him in the ass now too, because he has no plan. He always thinks of everything very impulsively, very see your pants type mentality, and we're gonna suffer for it. Even after he's going out of office and stuff, we're gonna suffer the consequences of it. Because fertilizer and all that stuff will go up in price too. And it'll be scarce and all that. You know, like, it'll probably be like fake news and fake news. And let me live by fantasy about being the most popular, powerful man in the world. That ain't kind of crystal one. Anyway, that was my little thing about Trump's speech about the war in Iran. I'm just glad that we can get into that we didn't leave NATO. And I have a feeling that if Trump were to leave Iran right now, we would say we accomplished our goals. Let's pack up and go home, boys and girls. Let's go home. Mission accomplished. He would leave this country open for a retaliation attack by the new government in Iran. Because that so pissed off he successfully kicked the beehive, and is ruining our reputation around the world. And yeah, he made a mockery of the United States. I could think of it as a revenge for us losing his candidacy and stuff like that, but yeah, he's ruining our reputation. On the side of his show. That's about it. I'm gonna be doing my Easter videos probably now. Now they got that ugliness out of the way. So talk off now, guys. See you in the next video. Sayonara.